Welcome everyone to Unity. I'd like to bring everybody into this space and let you know that you're all welcome. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate everyone being here and bringing that light into our community. Letting them know we're not afraid. We know that this is something that is just going to pass. It's something that we're just being presented with this opportunity to come together and create a beautiful new tomorrow. So I have a book here that I got from my grandmother, and it doesn't even have a publication date. It's very old. Authors in the past, they wrote in a different way than what we're used to now. So I'll be sharing a little bit of this passage here. And it's about calmness. And in our society that we're living in now, calmness is kind of a rare attribute. We've got a lot of people who are really not calm right now, trying to get as much toilet paper as they can and water, and it's something that if we recognize and just do what we need to do, that we're all going to be taken care of. We just have to trust, and trust comes from that calmness of right now. So this book is called The Majesty of Calmness. It's going to take me a few minutes to read most of this first chapter, but and then we'll be guiding into a meditation. It's going to help us to recognize that calmness within us and how it's self-created and how we can tap into that whenever we want to and whenever we feel that our environment is taking us away from that. It's a distraction. Because if we're focused and we're intent on how we want to be in the world, we're going to be calm, we're going to be happy, we're healthy, and we're projecting that into other people, and we're inspiring them to experience the same things. The majesty of calmness. Calmness is the rarest quality in human life. It is the poise of a great nature, in harmony with itself and its ideals. It is the moral atmosphere of a life self-centered, self-reliant, and self-controlled. Calmness is singleness of purpose, absolute confidence, and conscious power, ready to be focused in an instant to meet any crisis. The Sphinx is not a true type of calmness. Petrification is not calmness, it is death. The silencing of all energies. While no one lives life more fully, more intensely, and more consciously than the man who is calm. The fatalist is not calm. He is the coward, slave of his environment, hopelessly surrendering to this present condition, recklessly indifferent to his future. He accepts his life as a rudderless ship drifting on the ocean of time. He has no compass, no chart, no known port to which he's sailing. His self-confessed inferiority to all nature is shown in his existence as constant surrender. It is not calmness. The man who is calm has his course of life clearly marked on his chart. His hand is ever on the helm. Storm, fog, night, tempest, danger, hidden reefs. He is prepared, and he's ready for them. He is made calm and serene by the realization that in these crises of his voyage, he needs to have a clear mind and a cool head. That he has not to do what to do each day the best he can by the light he has. That he will never flinch nor falter for a moment. That though he may have to tack and leave his course for some time, he will never drift. He will get back into the true channel. He will keep ever headed towards his harbor. When he will reach it, how he will reach it, it matters not to him. He rests in calmness, knowing that he has done his best. If his best seems to be overthrown or overruled, then he must still bow his head in calmness. To no man is permitted to know the future of his life, the finality. God commits to man only new beginnings, new wisdom, and new days to use the best of his knowledge. Calmness comes from within. It is the peace and restfulness of the depths of our nature. The fury of the storm and the wind agitate only the surface of the sea. They can penetrate only 200 or 300 feet deep. Below that is the calm, unruffled deep. To be ready for the great crisis of life, we must learn serenity in our daily living. Calmness is a crown of self-control. When the worries and cares of the day fret you and begin to wear upon you, and you chafe under the friction, be calm. Stop. Rest for a moment. Let calmness and peace assert themselves. If you let these irritating outside influences get the better of you, you are confessing your inferiority to them by permitting them to dominate you. Study the disturbing elements, each by itself. Bring all the willpower of your nature to bear upon them, and you will find that they will, one by one, melt into nothingness, like vapors fading from the sun. The glow of calmness that will then pervade your mind, the ringing sensation of an inflow of new strength, may be to you the beginning of revelation to the supreme calmness that is possible for you. Then, in some great hour of your life, when you stand face to face with some awful trial, when the structure of your ambition and life work crumbles in a moment, you'll be brave. You can fold your arms calmly, look out undismayed and undaunted upon the ashes of your hope, upon the wreck of what you have faithfully built, and with brave heart and unfaltering voice you may say, "So let it be, and I will build again." When the tongue of malice and slander, the persecution of inferiority tempt you for a moment to retaliate, when for an instant you forget yourself so far to hunger for revenge, be calm. When the gray heron is pursued by its enemy, the eagle, it does not run to escape, it remains calm, takes a dignified stand and waits quietly, facing the enemy unmoved. When the terrific force which the eagle makes it strike, the boasted king of birds is often impaled and run through like a quiet lance-like bill of the heron. That means the man that takes to kill another's character becomes suicide of his own. When the hand of death touches the one we hold dearest, paralyzes our energy and eclipses the sun of our life, the calmness that has been accumulating for long years becomes in a moment our refuge, our reserve strength. The most subtle of all temptations is the seeming success of the wicked. It requires moral courage to see without flinching material prosperity coming to men who are dishonest, to see politicians rise into prominence, power, and wealth by trickery and corruption, to see virtue in rags and vices in velvets, to see ignorance at a premium and knowledge at a discount. To the man who is really calm, these puzzles of life do not appeal. He is about living his life the best he can. He is not worried about the problems of justice, whose solution must be left to the omniscience to solve. When man has developed the spirit of calmness until it becomes so absolutely part of him that his very presence radiates it, he has made great progress in life. Calmness cannot be acquired by itself, or of itself and by itself. It must come from the culmination of a series of virtues. What a world needs and what individuals need is a higher standard of living, a great realization of the privilege and dignity of life, a higher and nobler conception of individuality. With this great sense of calmness permeating as an individual, man becomes able to retire more into himself, away from the noise, the confusion, the strife of the world, which comes to his ears only as the faint far-off rumblings, or as the tumult of a life of a city, heard only as the buzzing hum by the man in the balloon. The man who is calm does not selfishly isolate himself from the world, for he is intensely interested in all that concerns the welfare of humanity. His calmness is but a holy of holies into which he can retire from the world, to get strength to live in the world. He realizes that the full glory of individuality, the crowning of his self-control, is the majesty of calmness.
Awesome.
Recognizing calmness as the source of our wellness, I'd like to introduce that feeling to you right now. So, we'll come back into a meditative state. Breathing in through your nose, letting go out of your mouth. Pulling your shoulders back and letting them fall. allowing your hands to find their way onto your lap. Your palms up promotes receptivity. Connecting your thumb and your forefinger help to balance our energies. We're letting go of anything that was yesterday and anything that might happen tomorrow. We're focusing on the feeling of our breath coming in through our nose, filling up our lower abdomen and into our chest, experiencing that life for a moment and then letting go effortlessly. We breathe in life. We let go of what no longer serves us. The right now moment is when we have power. It's where everything happens. We cannot control the past. We can't control the future. But we can control how we are right now. Breathing in, nice feeling of the cool, healthy air. We're breathing out, letting go. Breathing in, trusting in the foundation that we built. Letting go, trusting in the next breath. This brings us into a peace. And we're holding peace in ourselves. And we look at each other as mirrors, reflections of God. We hold peace towards each other. It's hard to fix anything on a large scale. But every large scale is just a group of little pieces. So we work on the individual. That's why I teach yoga, meditation. Helping the individual to find that peace and calmness within themselves. Wiggling your toes for a moment, relaxing your feet. Letting that move up through your ankles and your calves. Releasing any tension in your knees, your thighs. Finding that balance point in your hips and settling in, trusting in that foundation, trusting in support of what's around you. Wiggling your fingers for a moment. Relaxing your hands, letting go of any tension and stress. Relaxing your wrists and your forearms, your elbows, all the way up into your shoulders. The beauty of calmness is you're creating it right now. You're creating it within you. These are simple things to do, and you can do them whenever you want. This is a tool that's always available to you. Nice deep breath in, letting go of any tension. Feeling that hot air leave. Relaxing up through your core, balancing. Removing any tension in your shoulders and your neck. Letting go of tension in your jaw, your cheeks, your eyes and your ears. We're feeling we're expressing a healing white light coming from our body. It's emanating beyond what we can touch. It's clearing all toxicity out of our life. From calmness, we recognize distractions as just that. They are the opportunity for us to return to our meditative, peaceful place. taking your eyes and focusing them behind your forehead. Just a gentle gaze. Letting your tongue find its way to touching the roof of your mouth behind your teeth. No pressure, just you consciously controlling everything that you can control. We come into that peace, we can recognize the tempo of our heart. It's like a flow. We're breathing in life, we're breathing in oxygen, we're letting it go. Whenever we come to distractions in our environment, we shift our breath, we shift our thoughts, we shift our experience to where you want to be. And if I can control my right now moment, I'm going to be calm, peaceful, and happy. I'm going to trust in the experience. Placing our intention on the feeling of calmness that we're bringing from within right now. This is the feeling of trust. This is knowing that all is well. Every obstacle is opportunity for us to grow and creatively come up with solutions. Imagine for a moment a green light shining from your heart to everyone, everywhere, affirming a divinely designed immune system that can efficiently keep our bodies healthy. What we think about, we bring about. And when we think about health, and we think about wellness, and we think about peace and calm, we bring that to the world around us. And through our actions, we can shape our environment. There are many teachers that come through and say, be the light that you want to see in the world. And that starts at the individual. I would imagine that this is the most peaceful, calm building in Yakima right now. I invite you to rub your fingers together, still concentrating on your breath, moving your wrists a little bit and opening your eyes when you feel comfortable. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. And if you have any questions, I will be offering some breath work techniques that really help to charge our immune system. It's techniques I'm also sharing on Facebook and through Unity's Facebook page. It's Wim Hof method. And he has shown science, he's proven to science, that when we shift our breath consciously and we are oxygenating our bodies, we're creating an alkaline state in every one of our cells. And when our cells are in an alkaline state, they're less susceptible to disease, they're less susceptible to any illness. We feel empowered. We can take control of our autonomic nervous system. He's proven this through science, and it doesn't cost anything. That's the beauty of this divinely designed vessel that we're walking around in. It is super to be human. Thank you.